Western Florida. Scott, I have had incidents where I'll go into work and we end up getting press releases from the sheriff's office or the police station where someone is now going behind bars because of a road rage incident.
Right.
I'll take you back to one in particular that occurred in May or early June, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I know it happened very late in the spring, not exactly directly in the summer yet, where there were these two vehicles. One was involved in honking at someone, and the guy, he pulled out a pistol, and of course this led to both vehicles immediately speeding, one trying to get out of the way of having their vehicle shot at, and one chasing behind someone because now they have this mentality of, oh no, you're not going to get away from me now. You should have thought about that before you honked your horn at me.
Right.
They ended up at a service station. Nobody ended up getting shot, but there were lots of obscenities that were said and lots of verbal threats. That's as much as I know about that story right there. But now, let me give you an incident that took place that I did not have to write about, but I actually experienced that did not involve me. Mm-hmm. And this was very early on in the spring.
Okay.
My first few months down here in Florida. It's almost something I haven't seen before. Scott, I was driving to work, and it was a Saturday morning. Right. And I ended up at a red light, ended up having to stop. And there was a vehicle behind me, and next thing I know, it sounded like I heard a knock on the window of the car that was behind me, and I did. And I turned around, I didn't even turn around, I just slightly looked in my rearview mirror, and the vehicle that was behind that car, the driver, he got out of his car yell at the driver in the vehicle behind me for something. I don't know what it was about. I don't know if maybe she possibly cut him off or whatever the case may have been. But he got out of his vehicle at a red light. He parked his truck, and he got out of it, and he knocked on this lady's window, and he just started cursing her out. And as you can imagine, this was an elderly lady, too, by the way.
Right.
I should point that out. Was an elderly lady who was behind me driving. And as you can imagine, the minute he went back and got in his truck and that light turned green, she sped off like I've never seen an elderly person drive before. And he sped right behind her. And this went on for about another minute and a half before I ended up having to stop at another red light. And I don't know anything else that happened between those two drivers and those two vehicles after that. Right. But yes, this is just a play on to everything that you just said about people even going as far as getting crazy in traffic. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that I haven't had incidents where I've been affected by some ludicrous driver, whether it's here in Michigan or whatever the case is. I mean, it's a spontaneous situation that you have to deal with some wacko where your life is on the line, and the reality is when you look at it, it's all over the place. I don't care if it's in Montana, whether you're in southern Florida, western Florida, Maryland, wherever. I mean, the freeways out in L.A., this society has always been violent. The problem that you have nowadays, Xavier, is there's more ways to find out about the violence around the country with the different ways you have access to that information, whether it's through the internet, whether it's through Facebook, Twitter, whatever, ... I mean, I think when you told me you wanted to talk about the Popeyes thing, I'm thinking to myself, what is materialistic about a Popeyes chicken sandwich? Well, they're in that big of a demand. My goodness, you know what? I'll go to KFC. I don't.
I'll say this right now. There's a KFC right down the street from me as well as our favorite place, Culver's.
Right.
They're on two different sides. Culver's is on the left side of me, KFC is on the right side. So I agree with you on that statement there. And I'll even go to Culver's and get a chicken sandwich. I haven't tried that yet. So, just to bring a little lighthearted, somewhat not humor, but something lighthearted into this before we go back into the bulk of this conversation. Mm-hmm. There are other places to go have chicken sandwiches, ladies and gentlemen. There are a multitude of places to choose from.
Right.
So I'm not sure what exactly is in that Popeyes Chicken Sandwich. It is a delicious sandwich, but it's not enough, and there is no food on this planet that is enough for you to go crazy enough to get violent with someone, to take someone's life away, and to take all of your freedoms away.
Well, so let's talk about some chicken sandwiches before we talk about the business at hand. You got KFC, you got Culver's. I don't know if you have PDQ up there, but PDQ is becoming popular in these parts. I don't know if Zaxby's has one, and Culver's. You can't forget about old Culver's.
Zaxby's has come out with the new chicken sandwich with pepper jack cheese and jalapenos. They began advertising it just a few days ago.
Right. So, I mean, there's a lot of places to get a chicken sandwich, but for this to take place over Popeyes, I don't know. I mean, is it the Cajun nature of that sandwich that makes people go ballistically nuts where, I don't know. I like Popeyes, but not enough to go out there and go ballistic about it.
And I don't like it enough to sit in line for 2 to 3 hours either, like some people are doing. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. There's so much more time. Or maybe in some people's case. Here's what I'll say, Scott. In the case of people like you, myself, and other productive citizens of society who are doing things to make our community a better place and are actually serving a purpose, there are better things for us to do with that type of amount of time. For those who have made different decisions in their lives and they aren't necessarily getting to have those types of lifestyles and luxuries to where they get to serve their communities in different purposes, whether they wasted it away on just not taking chances on opportunities, or whether they did something insane that led to them having felony and criminal charges. I don't know. Maybe some people do have that type of time on their hands. I just know I don't. I'm not, even on my days off, I'm not sitting in line for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I might not even sit in the line for 30 minutes for a chicken sandwich.
Right.
It's not happening.
Right. I agree. Totally agree. But for me, I don't know. This one's a weird one. I mean, hey, listen, I love when you come up with different stuff. That's what makes this show the real and the rare, and that's what makes it fun when we do these sports subjects versus non-ones. Because you find out things that are so far-fetched that aren't so far-fetched, are they?
Yes, this is true. And, Scott, let me just say this, too. My condolences and my thoughts and my prayers go out to the family of that gentleman who was killed. He had no business skipping the line. But if the chicken sandwich is honestly that serious, listen, brother, you can have it.
Right.
I don't care. I'll come back another day, or I'll go somewhere else and get me another chicken sandwich, or maybe that's a sign that I don't even need to have a chicken sandwich at all on that day. I don't know. But if it's so serious for you to have to cut in line, or if it's so serious for someone to have to pull a knife out on someone and stab them to death, no, you can have it. You can have it. You can sit here and you can wait as long as you want. You can buy all the chicken sandwiches you want. I want no part of this.
So my question to you is this, okay, Popeyes is getting in the news for all the wrong reasons. Has their management talked about this incident at all?
Their management did speak about the incident. I haven't had a chance to go and read the statement yet because I'm pretty sure it was just another generic statement of we are deeply saddened about the recent tragedy that has taken place. I'm pretty sure it was another one of those generic type of statements. But since you brought this up, Scott, here's what I'll say right now. And a lot of people out there who are listening to the show and who will be listening to it later, you're probably not going to like what I have to say, especially if you're one of those Popeyes chicken sandwich junkies. If I was the CEO of Popeyes, I would immediately strip the sandwich off the menu, and it would not be coming back.
It's an interesting perspective. Bad memory. Don't know if the sandwich is good enough to keep it on the menu. Is it for a limited time only, or is it permanent?
Well, this time around, it's supposed to be permanent. But it's just due in part to the fact, Scott, that this is more than one incident. And you have people who are going crazy at many different locations around the country.
Really?
Whether it's with customer versus customer, whether it's customer versus employee. Some of these exchanges are verbal. Some of these exchanges are physical. But either way, this is out of control. And, like I said, there are many people out there who are not going to like what I just said, and I'll say it again. If I was the CEO of Popeyes, I would take the risk of losing all that money over those chicken sandwiches because they are bringing in a lot of money. But I would take in the risk of losing that money over those chicken sandwiches and choose humanity over money and greed, and I would yank the sandwich off the menu, and it would not come back.
Well, I mean, you want to go that far, at least I commend Chick-fil-A for not opening up on Sundays. Its founder certainly believed that all his employees should have one day off and made sure that Sunday was universal. So he didn't mind losing money on arguably one of the bigger restaurant days of the week on Sunday because it wasn't that big of a deal. And they still keep that tradition going. So I guess if Chick-fil-A can do it, why not Popeyes?
And it's not only that, Scott. Like I said, and as you already know, if people want chicken sandwiches that bad, there are many different places to go choose from. There are restaurants to go choose from. There are grocery store chains like a Publix to go choose from. Folks, if you haven't had Publix's Buffalo Chicken Tender Sub yet, that's a very good chicken sandwich as well. I'm just putting that out there for everybody. Not a free advertisement for anybody, but I'm just giving you options here so that I can try to do at least my part in trying to help prevent these things from happening. But like I said, if I was the CEO of Popeyes and that was my decision, that sandwich would be taken off the menu immediately because there is no amount of money that is worth losing lives over. It's just not.
Well, if you're going to take it to that extreme, there's nothing wrong with Wendy's chicken sandwich either, Xavier.
No, it's not.
It's cheap. But, I understand. I mean, I still find this story, I believe you, too far-fetched to comprehend. A guy cuts in line because he wants a sandwich that bad, gets stabbed to death. I just don't get it.
Imagine. And, the people who I honestly feel the worst for here are both of the families who are involved in this.
Right.
First, the family of the victim, because now you have to make funeral arrangements because you have a loved one who was killed over a place in line and a chicken sandwich. You have to call all the relatives and friends together and tell them that we have to make arrangements to bury our loved one who was killed over a place in line and a chicken sandwich. God bless if the man had children and they had to be told, your father's no longer here with us because of a place in line and a Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I'll say that, but, with all due respect, I think the guy overplayed his hand to think that anytime you cut in front of somebody, people are going to get annoyed by that behavior, Xavier. Only this one got way out of control. You know what I mean?
Oh, I definitely agree with you on that.
I mean, you can't sit here and say that the guy's totally innocent. At some point, dude, you know what? You know what you're doing is a very irritating act, and you know that this society is filled with all kinds of whack jobs. And while I feel that rest in peace to this particular gentleman for losing his life, why take a chance to do this anyways? I don't get it.
Well, Scott, I agree with you on that because, I can go as far back as seeing things in high school where, and I'll share this story with you and our listeners very quickly. When I first went to high school, we had a chicken tender Friday every single Friday. So every Friday we would have chicken tenders for lunch. And you would have the option of also buying extra tenders, and you get a special type of cookie and some really good honey mustard dipping sauce. Scott, when I first entered into high school and we first had these chicken tender Fridays, I would literally see people dashing out of the classroom doors, running